What's up, Marvel fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast back with another action figure review. This time I'll be looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro card figure of Tarantula. Let's have a quick look at the packaging. On the front it says Marvel's Tarantula, and on the top we get the Spider-Man the Animated Series logo. On the back, we get artwork of Tarantula and a brief bio of the character. Here's a close-up of the artwork on the back, as well as the brief character description. If you would like to read this, just hit pause and do so now. This is a sturdy card and bubble design where the figure can be viewed from multiple angles. Mint on card collectors should be very happy with this attractive retro card packaging. And now let's bust open this package and see what's inside. And here we see Tarantula, free of the package and ready to rumble. This is the Anton Miguel Rodriguez version of Tarantula, and while this is not one of Spider-Man's better-known villains, this was a villain that I knew as a child, so I was excited to add this figure to my collection. There are many things to like about this figure, although I do have one obvious criticism. So let's have a closer look at the loose details now. Here's a closer look at the lower body, and of course we get the toe spikes on the boots. The majority of the figure is a bright red with black trim. With the exception of the toe spikes, this is a reused body mold. However, I think that the musculature is comic accurate for Tarantula. As you can see, the original Tarantula had his own spider symbol. And I do like the sculpting here on the back, by the way. Much like with the Silver Surfer figure that I recently reviewed, there's a hole in the back that seems to serve no purpose. However, I do appreciate the paint applications on this figure, although some collectors will not like the fact that this figure has black pins in an area that should be red. I did encounter one QC issue with my figure, and that is this overly flexible elbow joint. It definitely feels like I could damage that area if I tried to do too much, so I'm simply going to leave it as is. Here's a close-up of the head, and I really appreciate the sculpting details on this. I like the way the mustache looks. I like the overall shape of the head. I would have appreciated a black outline around the lenses. Here's a look at the tassels on the back of the mask. Although these are attention grabbing, they also feel like they might be damaged if they're handled haphazardly, so take care in that area. I also would have preferred a black mask with blue shading instead of a solid blue. My biggest complaint with this figure is that there are no alternate hands, and for a figure that comes with no accessories, I don't understand why Hasbro made that decision. We only get these basic fists, no open hands, no claws, and I really would have appreciated at least one extra set of hands for this figure. Now let's have a look at articulation. The feet move backward and forward at the ankle joint. There is some pivoting. There's also swiveling at the top of the boots. There are double jointed knees. There's a quadriceps swivel, although the lines on the costume no longer line up when you use this feature. The figure can kick forward that far, and the figure can step back. The legs can spread out this far, and for this type of character, I would have appreciated a little more in this area. There's rotation at the waist, and the figure crunches forward and rocks back. The paint actually goes up into the joint, so I'm really appreciative of that. There's rotation at the wrists, and the figure has double jointed elbows, but as I mentioned earlier, I have one elbow that feels like it could be easily damaged if I try to articulate it, so I'm simply going to leave that. The figure does have bicep swiveling, and that will give you posing options. I'm always enthusiastic about butterfly shoulder joints, and this figure has them. It was a little more difficult than I expected to get the arm to rotate around over the shoulder, but I could probably warm up this area with a hair dryer or boiling water and get that to work a little better. The head moves easily from side to side. The figure can look up that far and down that far, and there is a very minor amount of head tilting. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and don't forget to tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Marvel Legends content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.